Two, three.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Monty's Men podcast. I'm Chris Lell. I got Eddie up in Toronto, Canada. How are you, Eddie?
I'm okay. I'm just glad there's an international break now. I don't have to watch this team for 2 weeks, and have free weekends now.
It's the first time I remember wishing for this international break to come. This first one, we always are like, oh, we hate this. I mean, we normally hate all international breaks, but this one especially we hate because it just is right at the first of the season. Normally it's, Sevilla's playing well and it just interrupts the flow. But right now we need it. So what flow? There you go. Pass backwards, pass right, pass left. It's like a cheat code for Mario Brothers back in the day or something. I don't know. Anyway, we also got Steve. Steve's in Wisconsin, I think, tonight, buddy. How are you, bud?
I'm doing well. I crossed the border. So, yeah, I know. Made it, got up early today, watched the game. Wanted to go back to bed and just forget everything in the world, but I got to hop in a car and drive for 4 hours. So, yeah. But I'm here talking with you guys tonight, and we've got a little bit of a break. So hopefully we can see some positive steps forward with this team over the next couple of weeks before we take the pitch next.
Well, talking to me and Eddie's got to be better than watching some weird movie, in your hotel room, sipping on a bourbon or whatever. So you got better company.
It's a Canadian whiskey, and it's Sunday Night Football. So,
well, cheers to the international break. Hopefully this team gets their crap together. 1-1 draw today with Villarreal this morning. 10 a.m. I think. We got up and watched that. I think had a coffee. 10:15. I watched it. Sevilla scores again first. Something we've seen a couple times this year, but then can't hold it. And anyway, Eddie, kick us off. What did you see about the game today?
Our most creative players on the team, Isco and Oliver, combining for the goal. Isco's is really showing some good stuff, showing his class. And Oliver, I don't think there's a Sevilla fan out there that doesn't think he didn't deserve to be omitted from the Champions League squad. And he's showing his worth, scoring again for us. And it was an early goal that we're accustomed to. And against Villarreal, I think we usually play conservative anyway. I know we had a couple spells of possession, but it didn't really lead to much. I mean, you could just ask Rafa Mir what he was able to get at the end of in this game. But I don't know. It didn't feel like that great of a game to me. I'm not sure about you, Steve. Do you think we played well out there? I mean, despite the result, are you seeing any improvement or signs that this team might be recovering their form?
No, not really. It was a poor showing from pretty much everybody involved except for those two players that you mentioned, Isco and Oliver. You're right. I tweeted out during the game that Oliver is probably the favorite player of mine on our squad right now, and it's just infuriating that he is not able to participate in Champions League. Seems like a massive oversight. Don't know necessarily what was going on there, but no, we're not taking steps forward. And the unfortunate part there is that we got a tie in this game because, yes, it's good for us to inch back into kind of respectability, if you can even call it that. It feels like we're still pretty far away from that. But points on the road, especially against a team like Villarreal, are always good. That's in and of itself is fine. But the way it happened was it was the exact same formula from every other game this year, where we start strong and then we just collapse. And there's absolutely no sustainable anything on this team after a lot of times it's before we get to halftime is when we start to fade. It's like the first 20-25 minutes. And if it does last till halftime, those halftime subs that come on are not up to par with what we're doing as a team, and it just falls apart. And today was the exact same thing. Today we saw the same stuff. We were holding on for dear life at the end. Absolutely no comfort at all in this. Even going back to last week, we turned on 3 goals in the first half, and then we were still nervous going into the last 15 minutes. Nothing's changed since then, and until something changes with this squad, with this coach, with this front office, like we're not going to see anything change. It's the same formula we've been kind of strutting out onto the pitch since 2022 started 9 months ago now, almost 10 months ago.
Let's be honest. We were an inch, 2 inches from losing this game today. I mean, that's the reality. We were that close to losing this game. Luckily, we got an offside call on the penalty that Tellus was. Well, I don't know what he was doing.
Completely wrong. Yeah.
Jeez, just missed.
We almost gave up a penalty. He almost had that would have probably been a second yellow for him as well. Just would have
possibly,
been
even
more icing on the cake.
Yeah, today was weird. I mean, I think Lopetegui. We did play well in the first half, and as Steve mentioned, we made it to halftime looking decent. Not a lot of shots, not a lot of opportunities. We took the one, Oliver Torres scores, as Eddie said, and great on him. I mean, the guy's now tied for the lead scorer on this team, which Oliver Torres, the guy that doesn't score, that's what he was kind of known for. But anyway, halftime subs, Bono gets the cramp right before halftime, has to get subbed off at halftime. Fernando also came off at halftime. So, that throws a wrench in your man management of your game, right? And Lopetegui had to make those early substitutions. I'm sure that was kind of weird for him, and something he wasn't exactly planning for. We saw Nianzo come on at halftime and slotted right into the DM position initially, and then quickly, transitioned out of that. I guess Lopetegui didn't like what he saw there. Looked a bit out of place. I don't know why he thought that was going to work. I don't imagine he's trained there very much. So, anyway, the reality is we had one shot on goal today, and that's not good enough for a top tier La Liga team. You're not going to win a lot of games, especially on the road, getting one shot on goal. Something else that I've noticed, this team seems very undisciplined this year. Lots of yellow cards, a ton of yellow cards. In fact, we're second worst. We've got 26. Mallorca's got 28. Last year we had 97 all season, and we're like mid to lower part of the table. So, Eddie, do you think that's just a lack of concentration, being so unorganized a little bit early on defensively? What do you think causes that?
Many factors. La Liga being what it is. Reacting to players' shouts and screams of getting shot and stuff, right? But perhaps it's frustration. I would attribute it to frustration, and I guess we can all look at Acuna for that, right? He's everyone to shy away from a challenge. I like the work that he did on or the job he did on Chukwueze today, because that boy is dangerous. So I know he was fouling him on purpose to try to get him off his game. Eventually earned that yellow card, but he marked them pretty well. Because from Villarreal starting lineup, there wasn't too much that was endangering us. There was the Parejo shot that went off the crossbar. Those subs were a bit scary though. Jeremy Pino and Danjuma, when they came in, it's like, oh damn, they have these guys too, and even Morales at the end, right? But yeah, I think it's just frustrations in terms of the yellow cards, and we're not playing well either, right? So that plays into it. Poor decision making and La Liga being La Liga. So put all that in a bag and you get more yellows. We didn't speak on this, but last week there were some people that got red cards on the bench. I thought I could have sworn Acuna was one of them, but I guess no one got suspended, right? So maybe it was just some staff members that did.
I think it's staff members, but also that would get served in the Champions League, the next Champions League match, right? No,
it wasn't a match.
La Liga.
It wasn't a match against Espanyol.
Yeah, so
oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Not the Copenhagen match. Yeah. You're right. Sorry.
That's
why
Lamela wasn't playing today, right? He was suspended for the red card, the second yellow that he got.
Yeah.
But I could remember the referee showing a couple reds to.
It must have been bench
I think
guys.
At least one or two guys on the bench.
I didn't see Pablo Sanz on the bench today, the assistant coach.
Maybe
so he might have been one. I don't pay enough attention to the bench to see.
If it was any players, I guess we would have known. But
yeah, I don't think it was any players.
Or
if it was players, it would have been listed in the match report too, and I didn't see anything on that last week. So, anyway, that's it. Best player today, I thought, was Torres. I thought he had an excellent game. Not only did he have the goal, him and Isco, as Eddie said, played really well together. Isco, phenomenal. The last few games, he's been really, really good, and just a quality that this team needs. His decision making's there, and he got his first assist with the club today. So congratulations to Isco there. Torres again got his second goal on the season. Cunha played really well, and then Dimitrovic, when he came on, played really well. I thought he was excellent in goal. So we didn't
Even
lose
on that
anything.
Shot that went in, he made a spectacular save on that shot that unfortunately rebounded right back into what's his face's knee. It was just kind of a freak thing that happened there. But yeah, no, he was playing really well.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game. A little missed coverage causing that, but anyway, it is what it is.
That's not on him. Yeah, that's not really on him. So
here we are. Sevilla got they're 5 points now. I don't even know where they are on the table. Just outside the drop zone. Still six behind Villarreal. I think Villarreal drops down to 6th place in the league. Anyway, so that's that much. Anything else?
We're 6 points behind Villarreal.
Only 6 points.
So what are we worried about?
Damn, we'll be top 4 by World Cup.
How about Athletic Bilbao? I'm worried about them. Betis, Madrid, Sociedad, Valencia. I'm worried about those people actually being better than us.
They got nothing on us, man.
Eddie always the one of positivity.
I try, even though I get shunned at every opportunity and proven wrong at every opportunity, including midweek, right? I don't know if you want to even speak on what happened midweek.
That's a good
something
segue.
Happen?
We should talk about it. We had another Champions League match, and the one Champions League match that we should have really went for if we had any opportunity or hope of getting out of these group stages. We go to Copenhagen, play Copenhagen, draw Copenhagen 0-0. I didn't think we played too bad up there. I thought we played decent. We had, I think it was 11 shots and but again, only 2 on target. But 7 blocked. I mean, 7 shots blocked by those guys. So, there were some chances. Delaney had a nice chance. Who else had an opportunity in that match?
It was Rakitic's chance. He had a good chance after 7 minutes. He passed by, I think it was Carmona that played him in just inside the box, and it went over the bar. And that was our best chance of the game. I don't think there was anything after that.
I don't remember much. Isco had that curler that kind of missed. You remember that one, to the far post? Never really had a chance. It was pretty weak, but it was pretty. We got to take that.
He was doing a lot of work to get that ball moving forward because we didn't seem to know how to. So I appreciated his effort in coming all the way back to just propel us forward. Because, I mean, I don't know what was going on between Kike and I think it was Tellis that started on the left at left back.
Yeah, Tellis started.
Tellis wasn't really receiving the ball to go forward, and it was mostly going through the right with Carmona. He's fairly limited, and he's not Jesus Navas, right? So, but he was doing the best he could to get us forward. I mean, he set up the chance for Rakitic, but it just wasn't. Nothing was happening really. A lot of possession in that first 30 minutes that Copenhagen just let us have, and we really didn't capitalize on that. We should have. A team of this caliber, we have to. And it's unfortunate. I don't know if it's sure. It was the narrow formation again. That we've seen from the game today against Villarreal. Oliver Torres, his positioning, he would often go and create that width and go to the left, right? But we didn't really have anybody do that in that game. It was often Tellis that was just there isolated on his own, so the ball would never go to him. And things just never really materialized through the middle. So board draw was all it was.
A lot of criticism on the forums and online with just how kind of defensive that lineup was with Delaney, Rakitic, Fernando, Gudeli.
What, you guys wanted to go down on the pitch?
No, I would love to have had Papu or Oliver Torres in there, but it is what it is. We didn't select the roster, right? So I don't know, Steve. Anything on that match, man? No,
I have nothing. Nothing.
I couldn't even remember. I couldn't even remember most of it today when I was prepping for this. I was okay, I got to go back and watch the highlights because what happened?
We were talking about it before we started recording here, and I was completely convinced that it was a 1-1 draw instead of a 0-0 draw. It just goes to show just how much I blocked that out of my memory. It was cool to see. Yeah, it was cool to see the traveling fans. It was cool to see the reception that the traveling fans had from Copenhagen, and it was really cool to see the standing ovation that Delaney got, given his history at the club, his long history at that club.
Hats off to Copenhagen, man! Those fans were awesome to watch. I mean, that was probably the most entertaining part of the match was watching their fans because, I mean, they were jumping up and down. It was just gorgeous. Stadium to see the fans just jumping up and down, and then what a great gesture that they did, bringing beer down to our traveling supporters. I mean, just awesome job to Copenhagen. What a reception. So
those are the types of crowds that I want to be a part of. They just even if my team wasn't playing, jumping around and just that atmosphere. There's something special about it.
That's it. And as we played, I thought he did okay. He did his job, running around like a madman, just chasing down balls. I mean, that's what Lopetegui wants out of him, right? Just work. That's all he really cares for his center forward. It seems like is to work. And
You have a bad game.
I think he was the last player to score for us away from home in Europe, all the way back when we faced Dortmund in around of 16. We haven't scored away from home since then.
Are you kidding?
Away from home?
No, we scored against West Ham.
At home, yes.
That second leg, right? That second leg. And against West Ham. That was in London.
No, we won the first match 1-0 through Munir, I think.
Okay.
And then the second game finished 1-0 and went to extra time, and Yarmolenko scored the winner. But yeah, that's West Ham, Zagreb, Salzburg, Lille, and Wolfsburg. It's zilch. So Champions League, I guess just forget about it with this coach. Call it the Antonio Conte syndrome. He can't do much in Europe.
He's costing us a lot of money. That 12 million we might be saving, if that's the real rumor. I mean, by not winning, or at least by not winning these games, he's costing us $2 million every time he gets a draw, and $3 million when he loses. I did some math earlier. I don't remember what it was, but it's a lot of money that he's left on the table. And think about the players we could have had, or maybe kept, if we had that kind of cash to throw down. So, if he wants to start blaming Monty for his roster, maybe Monty should point the finger back at him and be like, dude, win some Champions League games and I'll get you some players.
They're not pointing the finger at each other at all, I don't think.
That's the rumor, right? They've got a bromance happening or something.
They only got each other, right? So they're not finger pointing at all. They should have had that conversation back in the summer, because we had all of that at the end of the season and the Champions League campaign, all of that. I'm pretty sure the decision would have been easier then. All right, but I mean, here we are. I don't think Lopetegui is going, unless it gets catastrophic, like how it was in those first 3 to 4 games of the season. I think he's staying.
When is catastrophic? Like, what's your limit there? Right now, we are 6 games in and we are 1 point above relegation. Like, how much worse does it need to get for it to be considered catastrophic?
I think if we repeat the same thing, like just 1 point out of 4 games. I know these games coming up are tough, but it's like the mid-season collapse like that you usually see in March, April, but we're having that right now. So if they recover from this, it'll be fine. But how many of us could see that happen?
It can't happen. They've got
no evidence.
They got Madrid at home, which you think is going to be a 0-0 draw. That's the next match coming up. I don't see that happening. Madrid's too good not to score on this defensive lineup. We're not good enough. I'm sorry. Then we got Dortmund at home. Then we got 3 home games coming up. At least we got that.
3 in a row.
Athletic Club is coming to town, and those boys are balling right now. Like the Williams brothers are going crazy. So,
and they love playing hard against us, especially at the Pichuan. Like they always give us a tough game.
Then we go to Dortmund, we go to Mallorca. That's our only quote easy game, but that's not even easy. Then we got Valencia at home, Real Madrid. We're at. Then we go home against Copenhagen, home against Rayo. And then we got Man City. That's November 2nd. There's no way he survives that. It doesn't happen. Can't. He's not creative enough, and our players aren't good enough, unfortunately, to get out of that and survive. The pressure will be way too high.
Maybe they, I don't know, maybe they deliver on set pressure. I mean, we're seeing a few bright performances out of Isco and Oliver. There's Lamela who got his first goal of the season. It's really grasping at straws, but those are the few good things that have been happening.
Sorry, I crashed. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, you kind of froze there.
That's fine. We were just prepared to go on without you.
It's probably better that way. So I crashed right when I was saying no way he survives that, and then I was saying like, anyway, whatever.
But that's fair though. You look at that calendar, and Steve, I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat. There's no way he survives that.
No, I'm not necessarily in that same boat. Eddie, I probably think more along the lines that you do in terms of what the club is going to do. I don't want him to survive that. I think that we probably should have let him go before the end of last year. And we definitely should have moved on during the summer. So I would like to see a change at the manager position. I don't have confidence that the team and the club is going to make that change, though. So I'm kind of, I guess that's kind of having like a foot on each side of the fence here, where I'm kind of agreeing with Chris and with you, Eddie, at the same time. But we've seen for the last couple of years that fans' expectations and fans' wants, with this club in particular, really do not line up with expectations that the club has, and that's fine. I mean, that's something where like maybe the fans just are more ambitious and they want to see more in the short term.
But that's not true though, because their stated goal is 4th in La Liga.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any Sevilla fans, okay, give us 4th. That's fine. We're not there right now. So
yeah, I guess that comment on my part was more towards last year.
Okay, valid, sure. We were definitely had higher expectations last year, but we're freaking 5 points out of 6 matches. Like that's not Sevilla football. Like that's not what we're used to the last 10 years of this club. Like that can't continue. So bring it into reality, right? Of those games, Eddie, like what does Lopetegui have to do to save his job?
Find the right players that I think he's trying to have a consistent lineup. I think that's why he's been playing Gudel and Giga Salas a few games in a row, just to build a rhythm. Obviously those are not going to be the starting 2 for the rest of the season, but I don't even want to think about Marcal right now because who knows when he's coming back, but taking care of the back line and the players in front of that back line that has to that's going to protect them. And I don't know, you see there's something that's working with Isco there and Lamela. Find the center forward that's going to work, because I don't know why Rafa Mir missed like 3 games in a row, and he's the only one out of the center forwards that scored so far. I think there's something good going on with him and Lamela, so I don't know, find a partnership that's going to work, and just keep playing Oliver Torres when you can.
So realistically, all right, so Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, what does he have to do that win? Does he have to win? Does he have to draw? Does he have to, if he loses that game, is he safe at home?
If he loses, I can't call it.
So it's not as safe as you think it is, though, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, you make it sound like it doesn't matter what's happening, he's got a job until at least January.
Because he's making decisions as if he has time. I mean, I know we were having this discussion with Dak on the forums with Nianzou and his minutes. How come all of a sudden he's being benched? Maybe he's getting the Koundé treatment. He's going to bring him along slowly, but who knows? But Nianzou not starting, perhaps it was a risk playing him at DM when he came on. Maybe didn't want to disrupt the center back partnership, but he's making decisions as if he has time. So there doesn't seem to be urgency, right? Who knows what that even looks like under Lopetegui, but
Delaney wasn't on the roster today, right? So he couldn't have been that sub.
No, I think he had a knock.
Yeah.
No, I think they handled that substitution well. I think they just should have shifted Goodell into the center defensive mid immediately instead of trying out Nianzou there first and then shifting back. But
it didn't cost it. I mean, that didn't cost us, right?
No,
because he had already.
It was sorted out fast enough that
they scored their goal in the 51st, and they had totally made that change by then, I think.
Yeah. Before we move on from this,
they were directly at fault for it.
What was it?
Were they?
I mean, there was a gaping hole there. There's miscommunication with the marking. Jordan and Nianzou, they left Baena wide open, or I think it was Capu that was wide open, and then Quique Salas didn't make the challenge on Baena, and it was an open Red Sea right there. So.
No. Steve, what were you going to say?
I'm just going to say that if Lopetegui has a job going into the Atletico game on the 1st, I think he will probably have the job until the break for the World Cup. I think that's probably if we're going to make a move, it's going to be now or it's going to be in November. I don't think with the run of play that we have, in the schedule that we have pretty much from the time we return on the 1st all the way through when we break for the World Cup, we are playing a game every 3.5 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When in that calendar, when do you make that change?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Anytime.
It doesn't matter. He's in my opinion, I think he's game by game at this point. If he drops, if they shit the bed against Atletico Madrid, he's gone. If they lose by more than 2, he's done. If he sneaks out a draw or loses a close match, maybe he saves his job. But I think he's that thin. Because
that's a home game, so they're gonna hear it.
Yeah, they're gonna hear it. The pressure's building. The board's gonna start feeling it. The people when they're going to get their tapas and during the day, they're not going to be calling them Don whatever. They're going to be calling them something very not nice, and they're going to be hearing it from the locals. And
I mean, Del Nito's going to be chanting. You know what I mean?
It's going to happen, and I don't want it to. I just win. That's all we say. Just win, score goals, win. That's all we ask. But then you drop points against Copenhagen in the Champions League, and that's just not right. It shouldn't happen. But anyway, guys, we got the international break coming up. Good chance to catch our breath, figure it out, get some of these new pieces in. Right, we got Casper here. We can get him comfortable working on his fitness and working with Isco and those guys that aren't going on international break.
He might be going with Denmark, though.
Did he get called up? Yeah, he might have.
Denmark has a playoff. Because I know Delaney got called, but I can't remember
who all of our guys did. Okay, so Dimitrovic is gone with Serbia.
Goodell.
Of course, Morocco 2 gone. Goodell with Serbia. Delaney, I saw got called up.
Nianzou is with the French under-21s.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. It would be great to have him working with Salas there. I don't know. Did Salas get called to our? I don't think so. I don't think him or Cremona either one, right?
No.
Ah, jeez. I don't know. It's going to be kind of a skimpy work session there for Lopetegui. So. How do you improve on that? If all your guys are gone, how do you get improvement? And then they're coming back and you got to throw them back in the fire because what are you going to do? Who are you going to play in their place? You have nobody to play in those guys' place. Reckitt?
Oh,
Maybe,
like you said,
maybe Rekic finds back in the squad.
they'll be able to catch their breath. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I'm pretty
important.
sure they need a break with all those games all at all at once. So
Maybe
hopefully.
Lopetegui can read a Football for Dummies book while he's on vacation.
Relax. 3 straight years in the Champions League. That's not
I
not bad.
know it's not nice, but jeez, I'm so down on this club. It's so bad. I want to see good football.
I'm just saying, prepare to get disappointed and seeing Lopetegui's face on that touchline for more than you're expecting, because I didn't think he'd be here this long, to be honest. But
I called today. I thought today was it, but
at the same time, I don't think we're the
result.
type of club to sack managers like that and that quickly, despite how bad it is. I don't know how much they're willing to suffer like this, but is it really suffering in their eyes?
Yeah, maybe they really do believe in what they've built, and he's going to pull through. And I think they think that for some reason, but there's just it's not translating like in results, and that's what's making the fans nervous. So the women are back in action. The refs, I guess, came to an agreement. I didn't see any news coverage of that, but they're back in action. They dropped their first match to Atletico Madrid 3-1. Eddie, did you see who scored our goal? I forgot who scored it.
Under 20 World Cup winner Inma Gabaro.
Yeah, she did get it. That's right. I do remember seeing
that. Not enough to get the victory, unfortunately. But we'll get one over Atletico for y'all. Don't worry, ladies, we got it. In 2 weeks from time, we'll avenge y'all. The losses didn't end there, of course. Sevilla Atletico all the way down in 4th division. What is that division called these days? Who knows?
4th division, I think.
Diego Alvarez opened the scoring, but unfortunately, they suffered a defeat 2-1 to San Roque de Lope. Oh, what was that team called again?
I don't know. We looked it up. Lepe.
Somewhere in Huelva.
Lepe, yeah, near Huelva, not far from the Portuguese border there, right on the coast.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to keep an eye on speaking, because you mentioned Portugal. Zarazana is in Portugal playing for Maritimo. He started today against Benfica. Unfortunately, I didn't watch that game, but hopefully I could catch a replay of that. I'm a big fan of him, so I'm gonna try to keep an eye out on how he's doing over there. I mean, Maritimo is in last place right now, so they definitely need the help. So we'll see how that's gonna go.
I watched a little bit of the last of the Ajax match today and watched their boy Ocampos try a spectacular acrobatic goal there at the end, but it didn't pull off. Ajax actually lost that game today. So, but he did get subbed on. I don't think he's getting a ton of minutes over there, but
just getting started. Hopefully, he gets his groove back.
Yeah, I think we're all definitely all pulling for him. I want him to do well. How about Ronnie Lopez? Is he playing? Anybody kept an eye on any of our loanees?
I know he had a good first week. He was in the team of the week, but I haven't heard anything since then.
Yeah,
I honestly forgot what team it was that he went to. Was it Angers? Was it Amiens? Which club was it again?
Right? Troyes?
Troyes, yeah.
Troyes? Is that how you say that?
I think so. Troyes, yeah.
Troyes. Troyes. It's Troyes. That's why I don't speak French.
I'm doing everything I can to master Spanish pronunciation so that I don't butcher my wife's family's names. Just throw the French in there, and it's a mess.
Don't worry about French, please. Disgusting.
What was that?
Sorry,
no,
Eddie.
No, don't worry about the French language, man. It's Spanish is much better sounding. I don't care what they say about French being the language of love. That's BS, man.
Spanish and Italian has that.
Much better
spice. I don't know. It has a little spice to it. I love.
At least I think so.
Yeah, I went to a Mexicano restaurant here last night and ordered and talked to the guy, and I didn't embarrass myself, so I'm getting better. He actually complimented me on my Spanish, which maybe he's just trying to get a better tip, but probably that. Anyway, guys, I hope the international break for you guys is going to be awesome. We don't have to worry about this team very much. Hopefully, the next 2 weeks we can take a little break. We can regroup. Hopefully, they regroup because we're with them. We're watching every single minute of this team and reading every article that we can. So, if you guys get bored during the week, come over to Monty's Men and chat with us. We would love to have you over there. If you discovered us somehow on the YouTube channel or the Spotify channels, however you got recommended